Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. As you can tell by the title of this video, it is part 1 of my entire Monster High collection. Part 1 out of I don't know how many parts. This is going to take a while, but I also really don't want you guys to sit through one really large video because I don't have the time to record that and you guys probably don't have the time to sit through that and it would get really boring. So before we begin, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe so you know when the other parts come out. That way, you don't miss anything. So, I think first order of business, we'll cover the dolls that are here in front of us, and then we'll get into the ones that I have off camera right now. Sound good? Sound good. So first up, we have this, I was about to call her Haunt Couture Laguna, but she's not. She's Fright's Camera Action Laguna. We haven't even seen Haunt Couture Laguna yet. I got her last year for my birthday. She was new in box at the time, but unfortunately for me, the elastics inside her box packaging did start to decay and did start to take effect and eat through specifically her leg fins. It took a lot of putting them in hot water and whatnot to try and get the marks from the elastics to go away, and it worked. It worked. But they were eating through her leg fins. So they are not as vibrant as they were when I got her, in terms of color. They are actually more pale than they should be. But that's Fright's Camera Action Laguna. I believe she came out in 2013, 2014. When did Fright's Camera Action come out? I don't know. Fright's Camera Action came out after I had stopped paying attention to Monster High as a kid, because I was moving on to this very, very, very underground at the time indie horror game known as Five Nights at Freddy's. That's such a weird sentence to say, but it is genuinely what happened. I abandoned Monster High for Five Nights at Freddy's when I was a kid. Again, we all make mistakes. I should have stuck with Monster High. But behind her, we have Sweet 1600 Draculaura. Now, there is another version of this doll out there that does not have tinsel. I believe that's the Black Friday re-release. But I wanted the one that has tinsel just because that's who I grew up with. She has been rebodied onto a non-elastic jointed body, though. I do know that the original ones were elastic jointed. So this is probably not her original body, and that's perfectly fine. The seller probably did me a favor by rebodying her onto this. Because honestly, I don't know if I could emotionally handle trying to swap the elastics out on her. She arrived to me in decent shape. She's missing her crown, her little collar, and her earrings. But that's fine. Sweet 1600 dolls are really hard to shop for in terms of missing pieces. They're usually very expensive, and it's honestly ridiculous. I'm not about to pay $30 for a piece of lace and some plastic earrings each. So she's staying this way, unfortunately for her. But it's the fact of reality of life. Now, next to her, my Haunt Couture Claudine Wolf. She was my first ever Mattel Creations purchase. I'm so happy to have her. I was so bummed about missing out on Frankie that I knew that I had to get Claudine because Claudine was my second favorite. And if I missed out on Claudine, I wasn't going to forgive myself. So I, did everything I could to make sure I had the money to get her. And look! She's here! I managed! I've had her since May. She arrived in, right before the semester finished. And it was honestly, amazing just waking up before class one day, going and getting that notification that she had shipped. And I was like, she's finally gonna be home! And then it took her about a week and a half longer to get home, and that was stressful. But she made it, and she's perfect, in my opinion, and I love her. And before anyone comes after me, yes, I keep my Haunt Couture dolls out of box. I'm a very tangible person. I love to be able to hold my dolls, to feel the texture of their clothes, their hair. It's something that I've always loved. I wonder, I don't think that's... Again, I'm autistic, so I have no idea if that specifically is due to the fact that I am autistic, that I like being able to have the textures so much, but regardless, it's just something I do. So I know her being out of box is going to upset people, but it's what my brain likes. Okay, my brain likes to be able to hold my tiny plastic children. If I can't hold them, then what's the point? Speaking of them, Frankie from Ghouls Rule specifically. This was one of my Grail dolls as a kid. I have had them since 2020. Now, personally, I don't think there's a single, like, terrible Frankenstein doll out there, including the Gen 3 prototype. Yes, I have seen them. Don't come for me, but I like the Gen 3 doll line, okay? I'm excited to see where it goes, because I wanted it to be a My Little Pony situation where they looked drastically different. Don't get me wrong, I love Gen 1 Monster High, but I have plenty of Gen 1 Monster High. I want something different and I want something new. So, yeah. Anyway, rant aside, I know that they are very much not 100% complete. They need their little gauntlet bracelets, and I believe they also need their little... They came with a little mask, I believe, but other than that, they are pretty complete. I love Frankie. They've always given me non-binary vibes, by the way, and as a non-binary person, I've always seen Frankie as non-binary. Maybe not as a kid, because I didn't know what that meant, but like after I discovered my gender identity, I was like, oh yeah, Frankie is definitely non-binary. And then they confirmed it, and I was like, oh, well, that's vindicating. So yeah. And I do have another Frankie right here before we get on to the dolls that are off camera. This is my Gloom Beach Frankenstein. They are the 2015 version. I do have their hair clip. It's in my Draculaura's coffin bed, the jewelry box portion of it. And it's just because it kept falling out and I didn't want to lose it, so I put it in there. They spend most of their time in this chair on my shelf. So I brought it down with them, because this is Frankie's chair. This will never not be Frankie's chair. I don't care that it has bats carved into it and was probably meant for Draculaura. It is Frankie's chair now. They have claimed it. They will never be dethroned. And if any of my other dolls think they can have this chair, they are terribly wrong. Anyway. Now for the off-camera dolls, of which we shall start with Nephra. Nephra Denial. Now, I never had her as a kid. I didn't realize how tall the Big Sister bodies were because I never had any of the Big Sister dolls as a kid. Not one. Not a single one. I always thought that they would maybe be the same height as the boys, but they're actually taller. They are actually taller than the boy dolls. Like, it's not by much, but they are. Sweet 1600 Claude, he's incomplete. He's missing his shirt. I don't know if I'll ever be able to find it. I might have to make him one at some point. He's also missing his shoes, but they run for an absurd amount of money online, and I'm not paying for that. So he's just gonna stay like that for a while. But yeah. And yes, I know that these are Claudine hands. I found Nephra for $5 at a garage sale. I don't care that she doesn't have the correct hands. They at least match her skin tone, and they are at least hands. You know, if she didn't have hands, I would be sad. But she at least has hands. I don't care if they're baby hands. It's not like I'm reselling her or anything. She's mine forever. I paid for her. Ugh, running out of breath. Anyway, next up, another Claude. He is Best Boy. He is my favorite Monster High boy. When I was in middle school, I believe, he was like my first fiction... Well, no, he wasn't my first fictional crush. But he was one of my first fictional crushes when I was a child. Of course, now I only see him as innocent little baby boy, because he really is just like... He's adorable. He is baby. I don't care that he's 17. 17-year-olds, even in fiction, and especially IRL, to me are basically just like, look at you, you tiny human. You are incredibly amusing. Like, I don't know. He is my tiny plastic son. I have referred to him as such on multiple occasions, much to the chagrin of some of my other friends, where it's like, why, stop calling your dolls your children. I'm in my early 20s. I can call them my children if I damn well please. But yeah, here he is. He's missing his shoes again, and his watch, and his bandana, but that's about it. And he was only like 12 bucks on eBay, so I don't mind. And he did come with the stand too. So that is also, like, I know it's not his original stand, but it's better than nothing. Now, speaking of boy dolls, Nathan, I got him at the swap meet. He was new in box, but his box was like really gross and damaged, so I took him out. He needs a boil wash. As you can probably tell, I have not given him the attention he deserves in a while. But I do like Nathan. He gets over-hated on, honestly. Like, too many people hate Nathan. And that's coming from me who, like, I gave up on Monster High as a kid way before Freaky Fusion came out. Like, I didn't even care about Monster High anymore when Freaky Fusion was a thing. I didn't know he existed until my adult life, and I started trying to reconnect with Monster High. So I'm glad I have him now, because he's actually really cool. Speaking of Freaky Fusion dolls, my only other one at the moment is Serena Von Boo. She was at the swap meet as well. Different seller, different booth. I didn't know that she had a dorsal fin when I was a kid. That's a terrible job of showing it off. But she does, and it's actually really cool. I wish Mermaids would do something like that and like give us webbed hands and armed fins and fish scales. That would be cool. But yeah, Serena! She does have a cracked neck, so I am worried that one day I might have to rebody her if she like falls off the shelf at the wrong angle. Which happened to my Vandala doubloons, and now she's in a mini coffin that I made her, and she's in my closet. But, yeah. That is Serena. Next, we have my other Ghouls Rule doll at the moment, Draculora. I always wanted her as a kid. My mom found her for me at a retro toy store while Christmas shopping, and she picked her up for me. Apparently she was only like 20 bucks at that toy shop too. So very impressive, honestly. I have always loved this Drac. I know she's not every... Ghouls Rule is like a contentious line for some people. It was popular in Mexico, to my knowledge, but that's also the case for like most of Monster High. But Ghouls Rule just wasn't as popular of a doll line in the US. It's not well liked by collectors here, which is unfortunate because it's campy, it's fun, it's Halloween, and I love it. It's honestly perfect, and I want the Claudine from it too, and the Cleo to a degree. I hope I find the Cleo and Claudine at some point. Now, swapping out one Draculora for another, her stand just fell off of her because I can never get the clip to go on her. You can already see her moving into frame. It is Haute Couture Draculora. Despite me ordering her after Claudine, obviously, because they came out on different days, she arrived to me first. And she arrived to me, like, literally right before class in mid-May. And I was like, oh my god, why can't I just, you know, stay home and enjoy her? Why do I have to have a presentation today? Like, that was my entire vibe. I didn't want to go to class that day at all because I just wanted to hang out with Draculora. And now I get to hang out with her all the time because I'm on summer break and the semester of community college does not start again until August 29th. So I have another full month off that I get to spend with my dolls. And she is my favorite Draculora. And like, that's saying something because she's new. Like, she's so new. And there's a lot of Draculoras to choose from about who could possibly be my favorite. But she beats out all of them. She really does. She's better than First Wave Drac, in my opinion. And again, I love First Wave Drac, but she is better than her. She's like, my top 3 Draculoras are Haute Couture Draculora, then Dawn of the Dance, and then First Wave Drac. That's my top 3. And then if we're going to have an honorable mention, Forbidden Love / School's Out. But yeah, that's Haute Couture Draculaura. I know she's very recent, but she gets to be included because she is fabulous. All right, who do I bring in next? I'll do my creep productions. I have Laguna. I did a separate video on her when I first got her. Um, all the way back when I first started my channel. It was like my first actual video. And then we have Frankie as well. I have not been able to track down Claudine or Draculaura's original Creep Productions, which is a shame because I really wanted them as well. I wanted the full set, but I have not been able to find either. I do want to get another Frankie because they seem to be easy to track down, and I really want to make the movie version of Frankie because we're not getting movie dolls. Mattel said that we're not getting movie dolls, and while I don't like the movie and like the production side of things, I love Cece Balago as an actor, and I love the way that they seem to be portraying Frankie, and I love the way that Frankie is costumed in the movie. So I really want to make a movie version of Frankie out of a Frankie doll at some point. I did for now make a tiny polymer clay movie Frankie. I love them. They are everything, honestly. Movie Frankie is gorgeous. And regular Frankie. Frankie never misses a beat, which is why I was all the more distraught that I was never able to get Haute Couture Frankie. I missed out on them, and I had a mental and emotional breakdown when I missed out on them. Like, I was in line to check out, and then they sold out. And I literally was bawling my eyes out when they did. I don't have much to say about Laguna. I did her own video on her. Anyway, we'll do 2 more dolls, and then we'll call it time for this video. And those last 2 dolls happen to be... Actually, we'll do all 3 of them. We'll do my Dawn of the Dance collection, of which there are 3 dolls. If Cleo would not fall over, that would be wonderful. We don't do things professionally here. We never do. It's not fun that way. But yeah, Laguna I got for like 12 bucks off of eBay in 2020. She's not very complete at all. She's like 95%. She's missing her correct necklace, this one I made. She's missing her other leg fin. She's missing her little shawl, and she's missing her purse. But other than that, she's pretty complete. Cleo and Gulia are complete. They're only missing their purses, but you know, the accessories I guess don't particularly matter. They came from the same retro toy shop as my Ghouls Roll Draculaura. My mom got them for me for Christmas that same year as well. And I couldn't be happier, because I never got to have any of the Dawn of the Dance dolls as a kid, and I always wanted them. I still want the rest of the collection, but they are impossible to track down. Anyway, that is all the time I have for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Claudine will see us out now. Bye-bye!